We've already blanched in salted water. This is some of the cooking liquid. I saved from the pork, but you could also use beef stock or chicken stock or anything you wanted. And 1 tablespoon of flour. So we get the pan nice and hot. Not too hot, but just hot enough to let the oil beat up a little bit. So just put a little oil in there. The bacon's going to render its own fat, but I just don't like it to stick. So I just put a little bit in there. There we go. And that's popping off nicely. So with the bacon, we're just going to let it get nice and crispy. It'll take a couple minutes. Kind of spread it out so it's all touching a hot part of the pan. So while we do that, okay, we'll let that simmer. So when I blanch the green beans, I do it for 10 minutes. I bring the water up to a boil. 1 gallon of water, I add a ½ cup of salt and 2 tablespoons of baking soda. Now what the baking soda does is it keeps the green color in any kind of vegetable you put, well, any vegetable, cook green, if it's carrot, orange, it keeps the color. Baking soda is an extreme base, so because it's an extreme base, it has a chemical reaction when it's boiling with these vegetables, which gives it the ability to keep its color better. The salt is just for flavor mostly, but it also helps the vegetable keep a nice firm texture. When you add salt, it's just like as when you brine meat, vegetables have texture as well. So the salt actually absorbs into it and helps it hold a firm texture. So after it comes to a boil, you dump the green beans in, and for a gallon of water, I probably do about 2 to 3 pounds. So if, obviously make adjustments. If it's just 1 pound, you could probably just do 2 quarts. That way, after 10 minutes, they're perfectly cooked. So you can see the green bean. I'll show you right here. See, it breaks, but it's not like it's not mush. It's not falling apart, but it will break in half. I generally just take it out and take a bite of it. There, I missed a little piece. Take a bite of that, and make sure it's the right texture. But sometimes you need more than 10 minutes, but generally speaking, 10 minutes is just about perfect. All right, so the bacon's about halfway done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the walnuts. Okay, I'm going to add a tablespoon of herb mix. Okay, mix that together. Now you might be asking yourself, what's the flour for? So the flour, we're going to add it to all the bacon fat here. And we're going to make like a makeshift roux, like a pan roux, all right? And then we're going to add the beef stock, and that's what makes them glazed green beans. So it's going to have like a nice sauce to it. So that's going to be very complimentary to the pork dish we're doing right now. These walnuts are going to get kind of like a little toasted in the bacon fat. So they'll have like a nice toasted flavor. They won't just be straight walnuts. I don't know, just a really fun, delicious dish if you ask me. You can go with you could go with anything, chicken, whatever you want. We're using it with our pork this week, so this is part of our pork trilogy. We have a lot of videos because we're doing a lot of interesting techniques that I just thought you guys would really like. So I thought I'd share it with you guys. Scrape the bottom, that's get that flavor. This is just like when we seared the pork, you know, all the fond on the pan. You really want to utilize that flavor. That's one of the best parts about, you know, searing things in a pan is that you can save the flavor, unlike grilling stuff, you know. And when you bake stuff, you know, you don't get this caramelization that you get with this. All right. Let me turn up the heat a little bit. Kind of blast through this. Spread out the bacon. A little shake so it's all evenly distributed. What you want is you want to make sure all the fat comes out of the bacon and it looks red and it's nice and crispy. You don't want to chew on like half-cooked bacon with your green beans. You really want that crispness to it. All right, looks like we're getting there. All right, I'm starting to see this. You see now, I'm starting to see a little more of the red color that we want. So this bacon is ready. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to add the flour. That's also going to be 1 tablespoon of flour. Okay. Okay, so just kind of sprinkle that over everything. You mix it around. Oh yeah, see that bacon's starting to get nice right now. Now we're cooking the flour. This is a roux. Unlike the beurre Meunier I showed you in the last video, this is a roux. Because we're cooking the flour, that's what makes the difference. All right, now we're going to add the pork juice. Like I said, you could use chicken stock or beef stock. All of that is fine as well. I just happen to have some delicious pork juice left, so I'm going to use it. All right, you see the brownness on the walnuts. The bacon's cooked nicely. Oh yeah, that's looking good. So that's a really nice sauce for it. Now you don't have to blanch the green beans if you don't want to. You can cook them all the way in the sauce. I just find it to be a little easier. You know, if you do cook it all the way in the sauce, you're going to need to add more cooking liquid. So I don't know if I mentioned that was 2 cups of cooking liquid that I used. All right, so just a pinch of salt to taste, you know, however you like it. Like about 2 pinches. I'm a salty guy. All right. And 6 turns of the pepper mill for the fresh cracked black pepper. All right, now you got a really nice glazed green bean. It's gonna be perfect for this dish. Okay. All right, and that's it. If you like us, subscribe. You can check us out on our GoFundMe, our Facebook. It's all DC Chefs Giving Back. Thanks a lot for joining us.